Hi everyone, it's Natalie here, and it is New Year's Eve. Specifically, it's about quarter to 11, and I don't know. I have been, in all honesty, really hesitant about doing all of my spreads for the year, like Wheel of the Year, etc., etc. Um, I like insight for myself, but I do not like the idea for myself, anyway, that I'm fortune telling. Um, I'm willing to do a certain amount of fortune telling for others within reason and where it feels like it's not in, disharmony with my own sense of integrity as the reader. Um, and I understand the desire for it. I just don't like the sense that my future is already written, if that makes sense. So I did go ahead and get my Wheel of the Year, pulled together and managed to get to the right headspace of not overthinking it. And realized I felt really ready to go ahead and tackle the Merkabah spread for the year. So this is what I'm going to be working with. And I decided to do it in this way instead of like face on because it felt somehow better just to be able to get that sense of authenticity of like, this is kind of a major spread and I'm going to be laying it out the way I lay it out for myself. So it's visible in that way. So I don't usually do too much, and you can hear all of the fireworks in the background. I don't know if that comes across. I don't normally do too much ritual shuffling with this particular version of the deck, but I will give it a few. And I'm not going to work with jumpers for this one. Ooh. Give it one more. Okay. I'll just give it a few overhands. Ooh. It's already trying to give me a reading. I'm going to breathe on you guys. I don't need you to jump. Okay, so the first one is, what is my potential to be realized? Okay, well, yes, that makes a lot of sense. The death card. The death card's coming up a lot in my year spreads, and I just pulled it in a spread from the Mystical Dream Tarot, which is the first spread I've done with that one. So yeah, I think it's realizing full potential for complete transformation. Yeah, walking through, finishing and completing a process of initiation that was started years ago, and then actually, I in 2018 I decided to heed the call and follow through with that, and 2019 has been about getting it set up. So I feel like this is about completing that transition and that transformation, and learning to walk in that space between life and death. Learning to walk in liminal liminal space. Yeah, I need that as a reader, and I need it as a death doula, working with people who are dying. Okay, so what is my God-given gift? So it's the area of talent where the greatest potential can be realized. So in the link to the box, I'm also going to be putting, this worksheet or this like handout that I made. So the potential to be realized, etc. All of this has some greater elaboration in here. But let's see, for the God-given gift, it's the area of talent where the greatest potential can be realized. Your God-given gift is the way you make use of and realize the potential of position 1. These two cards combined are what helps us better understand what the magician is pointing to or looking at in the Merkabah in its hands. The magician is handing you your life and soul. So, quote, the symbols are the most valuable way to speak to your soul and its wisdom. Take time to understand the possible symbols in these cards. What do they bring up for you? What do you notice? Is the answer obvious, or do you feel like you're getting clues that feel right but which are not immediately applicable? Take time to understand. Okay, so, all right, we're going to do the breathing. Wow. 10 of discs. So my key word for this card is climb higher. I might need some time with this one. I kind of love it when the tarot gives you information that's not immediately obvious. Yeah, I might need some time with that one. Let's see, greatest potential. So if the potential to be realized, okay, it's the ability to take what's here. I wrote the damn thing, but it's not really mine, in so many ways. So it's the ability to take what I'm starting with this work and take it to the next level. Take it to a very high level of realization, completion, and in the material world. Because it's, this is discs, so it's making it real. All right. The obstacle face that prevents the recognition of the God-given gift. So again, from here, this could represent anything that is getting in your way and preventing you from seeing what's in cards 1 and 2. It could represent a bias, belief, judgment, conditions in your life, an immediate environment, or any combination of these things. The obstacle may change over time. It tends to be the case that when one obstacle is removed, the ego replaces it with another before too much time can pass. And boy, do I know that one all too well. The ego loves to kick out some stuff. All right, so interesting. So trust the process is the key word here. And because I immediately think, like, why would that be an obstacle? I'm aware instantly that this is a shadow element of this card, which is not trusting the process. So for the sake of this one, I'm going to flip it and give it an upside down. So the obstacle is that I'm not, and it's true. It's absolutely true. I have over the last year and a half, yeah, easily the last year and a half, really stopped trusting and letting go. and recognizing that it's okay if I put things into motion, they will manifest the way that they're supposed to. It doesn't mean that I can sit back on my laurels, but it also doesn't mean that I need to stay in a state of high tension all the time, freaking out and double checking everything, and kind of tying myself up in knots in a way that's unhelpful. So this is really very much about like trusting. I really need to actually stop that and actually trust the process. So that's my obstacle, is not trusting the process. Okay. Position 4, what needs to change or shift in order for your God-given gift to be utilized? So what are the things which are presently a part of your life that you may need to adjust? Moving these things out of the way will lead to greater space for bringing in these gifts and realizing your potential. It should be expected that as soon as some things have changed or shifted and some growth has taken place, that there may be new things that arise and require another change or shift, and so on. Yeah. Okay, where'd my deck go? Here it is. Okay, so 4. I can't remember where it is. 4. Yep, okay. Oh. So my key words for this card, for those of you, who know the keywords here are fertile retreat. Oh, wow. I mean, so much of this is like doing through non-doing, but with focus. Like I spend an inordinate amount of time, numbing myself or wasting time. I've really gotten into just unfocused internet surfing. It's not even learning things or reading things or growth focused or even social. It's just, I wonder what movies I'm going to save on Netflix now that we have Netflix again. It's things like, it's just, or is there something I want to get for, Christmas? What, I didn't do any more Christmas shopping. Maybe I should check on Amazon. Maybe that's what I should do next. Wonder what new decks and things are going to be recommended on Etsy. I mean, it's not intelligent use of time. And it's not that I don't have time, it's that I'm not using it well. But by and so I tend to trick myself into thinking that it's, I don't have as much time as I need for my spiritual practices. But a fertile retreat to me it's spending time with the clouds in your mind, spending time understanding what's polluting, remembering the blue sky that's behind it. So what needs to change is really, it's how I'm using my time. It's how I'm using my rest and my respite. I'm not using it wisely. I need to use it more wisely. All right, so there's the first big admonition, which I come to expect that my decks are very good at giving admonishments, in the absence of a Zen teacher. Yeah. It's a pretty funny little dynamic. Okay, so next card, position 5, next step to take toward the realization of potential. So this offers an active step to take and something which we can actively do in service of realization. May relate very directly to position 4 and how you can change or shift, or it may seem to be unrelated. Magician is more active than the High Priestess, whose being is more receptive and still. Its representation as significator offers more direct, actionable information than the guidance offered by the Tetragrammaton spread. Okay. So what do I need to do next? What's my next step? Okay, so, yeah, the master of living life. So, that's hilarious. So the next step is being. It's being really fully in a very sensual way. It's engaging my senses. Um, that's so interesting because this is the King of Discs. Sorry, this is a first edition, so we don't have any markings on here anywhere. Um, yeah, the next step. This, I'm in. I'm so complex right now. So in terms of Myers-Briggs, I'm an INFJ, and extroverted sensing is the one area that I wrestle with. And there have been times in my life when I've been excellent at the extroverted sensing, like really, really good. Um, and there have been other times in my life where I am really appalling. And I've been really appalling over the last 18 months because life has gotten really uncomfortable. Um, yeah, I changed my entire career. So those of you who don't know me very well, in what I guess April, May, June of 2018, I had the recognition in April that I had to leave my job, being a professor of movement and physical theater and directing and so on at a university. And for a lot of reasons, but the biggest one being that they, after years of service and dedication to that program, to building it, they still couldn't offer me a full-time position. There's a lot of reasons why. The department wanted to, and were desperate to. I think the dean wanted to, but the president had basically screwed over the university's finances, and they had to cut back everything. So I saw the writing on the wall, and I left, and long story short, I became, I realized I needed to become a death doula because I'd had some experiences years previous that really led me to that. But I hadn't quite figured out how that was supposed to take shape. And then someone kind of dropped it in my lap and said, "Oh, you would be great at this." And I'm still trying to get that to take shape. And in the meantime, there were lots of ups and downs, difficulties with other jobs, having trouble figuring out how to bring that to fruition that led to some serious rewounding and pain and so forth. So in the midst of all of that and all of that discomfort and shift, my body has become not the focus at all. And I've known for a long time I really need to do something. So this tells me, get into my body. It says, get into my body, reclaim your physical space. I was at one time very much, the master of living life on so many levels. And it's very, I've recognized recently it's very possible to come back to that. I have not done it. So it's something I need to do. Part of it's from fear. I have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia. I'm pretty good at keeping it either in remission or just really in a very workable place. It has been sort of showing me signs. My body will give me signs and symptoms that it's not happy. I'm looking at my hands because my hands have been in a lot of pain the last few days, which is rare for me. Yeah, so that's a lot of information, but there we are. I do believe in modeling these kinds of things, so I will do some TMI, but I feel like generally in this community that's okay. All right, so, and I have a strong belief in leading through example and being willing to just put yourself out there. So, okay, so position 6. That's on the next page. Page 7 actually. How will you know you're taking the right direction? So this tells you how you will feel, what you may notice, what you might see that points to you moving in the right direction on your path. Okay, it corresponds directly to what you'll find in the Tetragrammaton spread as you work regularly with it. which is less direct and focuses on the kinds of signs and synchronicities you can expect to find as you embark on this journey to reclaim your wholeness. Okay, so, oops, sorry about the moving computer, guys. All right. Oh, wow. Queen of Wands. Wow. Okay. Gosh. All right. So she's a holder of creative space. I'm also aware of this kind of sensory, this gorgeous little tiny leopard that she's holding. If you've ever held a baby animal or a cat while naked, it's rather wonderful, actually. Another TMI alert, folks. Here it comes. You knew it was coming. So I have an ex, sadly now deceased, who had these two really wonderful marmalade cats, and they would climb into bed with us and crawl under the covers while we were sleeping. So occasionally, the cat's name was Queso, so occasionally Queso would end up snuggled up against me, kind of like this, and it's delightful. So I was just reminded of that. This one might take me a little bit of time to unpick. I have a feeling this is, so all of these cards, even though this one initially flummoxed me, even though this 10 of discs, these have all come out relatively clear. These feel very clear. This is the one that's leaving me going, So let's think. Spacious, open, creative. I mean, when I'm spacious and open, creativity does flow through me. So perhaps what this is that I'll know that I'm taking the right direction because I feel spacious and open and creativity is flowing through me. And I feel like that's in some ways directly connected to, this king of discs, this mastery of living life, being in the body, extroverted sensing, etc., which connects back to the extroverted sensing here. Something that's external, tactile. Yeah. Wow. Yes. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Okay, so there it is. That is my Tetragrammaton spread for 2020. Yeah. Who knew that your greatest potential could be death? But there we go, right? Yeah, that all comes together rather nicely. I mean, 13 is my birth date. I mean, there's a lot of not surprises in this overall spread here. Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey. Yeah, I'd love to know more about how this is working for you. The hashtags should be listed below if you want to share your spread or share your work. Otherwise, I will continue posting and offering insights, discoveries, etc. along the way. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye. Happy New Year.